Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 3-0 Take, where we talk all things Major League Baseball. Here's Kyle Corwin and Nate Reyes. It all starts right now.
Ooh, welcome back to the 3-0 Take, presented by Big League Chew. This is episode 303. I'll be your host, Kyle Corwin, and I'm here with my co-host, Nate Reyes. Nate.
Happy end of the week, you bums. I know you're a bum. I know when you listen to us, you're not paying attention to work. You're not focused on whatever you're supposed to be doing. I know. I get it. And I applaud that. I like that.
Do we have a guess at what we think the majority, if we had to put it to a singular activity as to what we think the majority of the listeners are doing while listening to us? Do we think we're commuting? Do we think we're doing chores around the house?
I did that the other day. I was listening to one of my podcasts the other day when I was doing laundry. That's kind of nice. Pop in an AirPod, get stuff done, dishes.
That's what I do. If I'm the only one in the house, I won't even use the headphones. I'll just put it in my pocket and just play it, put it on max volume.
You're not an AirPod guy, huh?
No, I am. But if I'm the only one here, I don't need an AirPod, you know?
I kind of like the freedom of it. I would say most people, I don't know, like I got to give shout out to Murray. He's always posting on his story that he's like working on cars. He's playing it through the shop. Like, I don't think he even asks the other people that work there if they like baseball or if they care. I think he just plays it throughout the shop, which is cool. I'm a big fan of that. See, we get a lot of stories of commuting. I doubt you could work out to us. You can't work out to this.
Probably not. We got one of flying a plane.
Yeah, that's cool.
I mean, that might be up there. That might be
that
tops.
one's sweet.
No pun intended.
I'm gonna say, I mean, as long as you're not pooping, I'm cool. If you're listening to us on the pooper, I think it's time to reevaluate things.
I don't discriminate. A listen's a listen. A download's a download, whether you're on the crapper or not. I don't care.
I think it's time to reevaluate what's happening if you're doing that.
Speaking of reevaluating, I need to bring something to light here. We need to circle back on this Topps home run challenge. Because if you recall,
you got Tatis, right?
I have two. And one of them is the recently suspended for 80 games Fernando Tatis Jr.
I think you should just win. They give you the dub. What do you win anyway?
So as a reminder, choose the game date you think this player will hit a home run. If he does, you win a parallel card. Feeling brave, go all or nothing and double down to predict if the ball will travel more than 425 feet for a special parallel card.
I bet you Topps does something soon. I could see that. I would hold on to it.
Expiration date, October 2nd, 2022.
Yeah, I could see Topps doing something where maybe they send you, like, what did the Padres do? They switched Tatis bobblehead night to Soto, like the Jersey day, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see Topps doing something for you. So just Juan Soto stuff. Just everything Tatis is being replaced with Juan Soto stuff.
Should I just tweet them? I might just tweet them right now.
Smart. I would too. We're calling them out on the podcast as well. So if you want to throw this clip together for social media purposes, I like it. Let them know.
I'm going to do that.
Put them on blast. Also, a real quick trigger on the Padres gift shop discount on the Tatis stuff.
Did they really?
Quickly to 25% off. Like the day after. All his jerseys, any of his gear, quickly 25% off.
The Padres, they were not all that pleased when this news broke, because if you saw the statement, not that we have to rehash this whole thing, but if you saw the statement that they released, it was basically just like, basically we hope he figures it out and pulls himself together, because this is one too many times.
Yeah. like that. I feel like they're going to send this guy to rehab. Tough. I mean, that's a lot of dough. It's a lot of dough. Maybe that 25% gets taken out of his portion. Also, I sent you that TikTok last night. I don't know if you watched it. And again, we don't need to delve into this too much again, but
Yeah.
What I was saying about the contract stuff last episode, about how anything like steroid usage or something like that should void contracts. Some TikTok was like all over the place last night. I don't know how many likes it has, saying the same thing. And apparently this was this guy. It was a guy that was involved. I don't know who it was, but he was involved with the negotiations between PA and MLB, and PA wouldn't let it happen. They were not going to allow it. But MLB tried to negotiate that in the last agreement to where it would just affect guaranteed money.
In my opinion,
totally makes sense.
To me, that should just be a non-negotiable. Like,
right. That should just be a thing. If you're writing that contract as a team, I don't see why that would have to be negotiable at all. I think it's your call as a team.
Yeah, I don't know why that has to be used as some sort of bargaining chip or anything. Like, that's just a non-negotiable.
Yeah.
If you get busted, sorry, you have to forfeit the money. Whatever. Right. All right. What kind of language should we use for this tweet to Tops?
I think you let the picture of the card do the talking for you. And I would just go at Tops. What do we think about this? And then picture.
Let's see here.
I wouldn't mind if maybe you posed for the picture. Meredith took it of you and you're just holding the card.
I mean, I'm doing this
like
as we
making
speak.
the palm up emoji. Ooh, throw the palm up emoji in there. That'll help. I like that.
Hey, Tops. Is it still Tops or is it Fanatics? No, it's still Tops.
I think it's still Tops. I mean, yeah. I doubt they completely get rid of that name. I think it just Fanatics owns them. Right?
Hey, Tops. Yeah, but I don't know if that contract kicks in yet. Isn't it like next year?
Sure.
Maybe the year after?
I have no idea.
Hey, Tops, what are we thinking here?
Yeah. And then throw up the emoji there.
Are we talking like this guy?
Yeah, that guy.
The hands up guy?
Yeah.
All right. Hands up guy. Hashtag suspended. Hashtag. What's another hashtag I should throw on here?
I don't know. I'm not very good with the
hashtag ringworm.
Game.
Hashtag ringworm.
I like that.
Just in case they've been living under a rock.
Yeah. I wonder how many of those cards went out that they're going to have to replace. What would you want in return?
What would I want in return?
Like a different player?
I would say a non-specialty card of my choice. Like, I don't need an autograph. I don't need a jersey patch card, but just let me pick a card that's not, because I don't want to do the home run thing. I never win these kinds of things.
Yeah, I think if they follow it up with another home run card, I think that'd be kind of stupid. Maybe they send you 5 home run cards. How cool would that be? As an apology. 5 different players where you choose their home run. That helps your odds, right? I can get on board with that.
Yeah. You know what I was ready to be completely on board with is the Curse of Joey Gallo being real.
It was, yeah. Yeah.
And I got to say, Josh Donaldson took some of the wind out of my sails last night. But look, The reality of it is, it's still real. And Yankee fans, more than just about anybody, should be accepting of the fact that curses are real, because for 86 years,
Yeah.
you were
we
all about
definitely-
curses. So
We believe in curses and ghosts, and 100%. I definitely believe it. I mean, I'm going to
do you
need
believe
things to
this is real?
change. Well, I mean, I think it would be real if he was dealt sooner, but he was a part of half of this stretch. You know what I mean? Half of this post All-Star game stretch that they're in. I wanted him to succeed elsewhere.
Oh, no.
Because of how he was treated. That's what I will say with this. I still root for him. I want to continue to root for him. Yes, it's kind of annoying because you're like, dude, like you had it in there. It's just you weren't capable of doing it with us. But I root for him just because of the fact that it was you could tell that the guy, like, he took it hard, man. He was a Yankee fan growing up, and like not being able to walk around the city, like that's not okay. Like that's not good. So I want him to succeed. I hope he does succeed. And I hope he has some impact moments, some X factor moments in the postseason for the Dodgers. But I don't know if I can't put all the curse on him. I think there's too many other factors going on with this miserable baseball that's been happening.
I'm not quite entirely sure what you mean when you say that he was a part of the stretch, because the numbers I have are from since the deadline, August 2nd.
Mm-hmm.
Yankees are 3
You
and
can go back further.
3-11. Oh, sure.
Yeah, you
Sure,
go way back.
You can zoom it out.
This is way bad.
But since the deadline, they're 3-11. Dodgers are 12-2. The Yankees have lost 5 straight series since the deadline.
Yeah.
Joey Gallo, who is hitting 159 in New York, is now hitting 261 in LA with 3 home runs.
Yeah.
So it's safe to say that this
I'm
is
not
a
ready
real
to call
thing.
it a curse.
This is a real thing. Oh, I mean, what is it going to take? Like, what level of monumental collapse is this going to have to take?
There's so many bad factors of other people underperforming to even, I mean, I can't say it's a Joey Gallo curse. Joey Gallo has nothing to do with the fact that IKF is kind of a letdown. That Josh Donaldson, outside of last night's walk-off grand slam, has been a shell of what we normally see. Aaron Hicks is basically performing like a high A guy. Benintendi has not been what they hoped he would be. Your starting rotation has started to fall off a little bit. The bullpen has been bad, the back end especially. Rizzo has been dealing with injuries and frustrations. DJ LeMahieu is dealing with injuries at this point. There's so many different things going on that it's like it's really not good. And they can't seem to get, we always talk about this. Anyone that plays baseball knows most games that you're going to win, you need 3, there's 3 factors. You need 2 of the 3. Pitching, defense, hitting, you need to get 2 of those to win a ball game most of the time. Sometimes you need all 3. They only get 1 a game. They only get 1 of those factors a game. You get solid starting pitching, bullpen blows it. Hitting doesn't happen. That's just it's been going. What I will say about last night, and hopefully this starts to create this new turn, get off this road. But they called up guys. They called up Oswaldo Cabrera, debuted at third base last night. Estevan Florial has been up a couple times throughout the years, but he was playing center over Hicks. To me, and you can tell me if I'm wrong here, but I feel like when guys get called up, not only is it a spark for that kid because he's excited to be there, But I think it's a little bit of a wake-up call to that veteran that's been playing that position for the whole year. And that is maybe what happened to Josh Donaldson last night. I know he DH'd, so he was still in the starting lineup, but you still look at him and say, you know what? I've been playing spectacular defense, and this kid is getting called up to potentially take my spot moving forward. That's what Yankee fans have been crying for. Please bring somebody up. Light a spark. You need it because we're watching it with other guys. We're seeing it on other ball clubs, and it's like, why? So overall, this is awful, depressing baseball for the last month and a half. And I am nervous, 100%. I think Yankee fans have to be, because you look at it and you're like, you can't just say this is all happening because there's a lull and there's, the Stanton injury. And then it's just like, that's not, sorry. I wish I could just say that everything will be fine when he gets back. But we've watched him go on 2-week, Swiss cheese bat type stretches. That's normal for him. I think this team needs to show that they can stick around for 162 plus. You can't win it. You can't win a season, from March to June. You got to keep going. And that's what's scaring me. Because they don't know how to be. They've never been in this position. This team, this core, Boone, has never been in a position where they have a double-digit stretch or a double-digit lead for this period of the season in the division. And I feel like there's choking going on. And it makes me real nervous. And this series coming up with the Blue Jays is going to be big.
Did you happen to see what your guy Stephen A. Smith had to say about the Yankees?
I did not.
He said he went on quite the rant. He said, "You're worse." Talking about the Yankees, he said, "You're worse than how it smells from the sewers in the Bronx." And I was born in the Bronx. I know what the hell I'm talking about. Say what you want about Stephen A. Smith, but I mean, he wasn't wrong. And of course, this was before the Josh Donaldson walk-off grand slam. But
yeah,
prior to that, it had been 11 out of their 13. So going back to my original question, what is it going to take for you to label this the curse of Joey Gallo? How much longer? Let's just pretend that last night's outcome was just a fluke. Okay. And that this poor performance, this awful baseball continues.
Yeah.
The way it had been for the weeks prior to that.
Yeah.
What is it going to take?
I think if whoever it is, obviously the Blue Jays kind of being next in line. I think if the Yankees, obviously if the Yankees lose the division, that's pretty obvious there. But even if second place team is within four or 5 games by the time the season's over, that's where I would say that takes bad baseball for 2+ months. And it's not even like the rest of the AL East is playing that well. Like I think that Yankee fans are forgetting, like, oh, still got a 9, 10, 11 game lead at certain points. Yeah, I mean, if either the Blue Jays or the Rays started to play decent baseball and put together a stretch, this lead would not have stayed. So the Yankees have been lucky that the rest of the AL East is kind of just beat up on each other over the last month and a half to hold and maintain this lead. But I think if the Yankees finish the regular season and they only win the division by 5 or less, I would say the Joey Gallo curse could be real. But we also need to see continued production on the Gallo side. If he hits over 250 the rest of the way out, I don't even care about the home run production. That doesn't matter to me. If he hits over 250 the rest of the way out, that's all I'm giving him. That's a low threshold. If he hits over 250 the rest of the way out, I will admit that this curse could be a thing for sure.
I mean, if he heats it up, we may be looking at a late run at an MVP. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. Crazier things have happened. Speaking of crazy things, let's look at this Michael Harris second extension. Can I just ask, what dirt does the front office for the Atlanta Braves have on these guys? Because there is absolutely no way that you can be pulling off these types of extensions, these types of contracts, these types of deals without having a little bit of dirt on these guys. There's just no way. You can spare me the whole Braves fans they're nauseating at times. I will go to bat for them. I went to bat for them last year when nobody else would besides them. I think they're a very loyal fan base, almost to a fault. Mm-hmm. They can just be they're exhausting.
They got blinders on. They definitely have blinders on.
Sure. I mean, all fan bases do, but I feel like the blinders for the Braves fan base,
it's large.
Maybe quite. Spare me the whole, well, these guys have just really bought into the culture and they want to be like the 90s Braves and they want to be comfortable with knowing where they're playing for the No, stop. I would buy that for maybe one or two guys, but you're telling me this list of guys that they have locked down through like 2090, you're telling me all of those guys have that mentality? No. The Atlanta Braves are no more special in that regard than any other team in baseball. There's nothing special in the water down there in Atlanta. There's something strange going on because let's just go through the list here. The Braves core. You've got Austin Riley through 2032. You've got Michael Harris II now through 2032. You've got Matt Olson through 2030. You've got Acuna through 2028, who, by the way, is currently living out a 8-year, $100 million deal for one of the best players in baseball. You've got Vaughn Grissom locked through 2028. You've got Ozzie Albies through 2027, who, by the way, 7-year, $35 million contract. 2027, you got Spencer Strider. You've got William Contreras for 2027. And you've got Kyle Wright through 2026. Oh, yeah, and throw Max Fried in there as well. I'm not buying the culture nonsense. I'm just not.
I mean, that's the only way. It's the only way. It's the only thing that makes sense.
Like I said, I would buy that.
It's too big of a conspiracy theory if it's anything else. Look, the truth is when you look at this core, you're like, yeah, I get it. I mean, I definitely get it. I think the Braves fans are not the only ones that have blinders on. It's all Braves country, including their players, including their front office. You're right. There's nothing more special about the Atlanta Braves than anyone else. But I don't know. To me, I think Freddie Freeman helped by not re-signing. I think him leaving showed some things. And the Braves front office is allowed to say to these players, look, face of our franchise is elsewhere. The guy that grew up with us is elsewhere. And he's hating it. And all the reports are true. He's super sad, fired his agent. Do you want to go down that road or do you want to buy in and you want to be a part of this for a while? And I think any group that's led by Austin Riley, Acuna, Matt Olson, Albies, the rest of the guys will be like, okay, sure. If I get to hit with those guys on a regular basis, if I get to pitch for those guys on a regular basis, yeah. So the way I see it is that like you wish your team did this.
The only
you wish your team did this.
I get that. The only difference in your example though with Freddie Freeman is he is on the tail end of that story. Alex Anthopoulos is getting these guys before they've even had a cup of coffee in the big leagues and saying,
I get it.
Do you want to go down that road? And they're like, I just got here. Like I haven't even had a chance to figure out if I'm gonna like this over the next 6, 7, 8 years. Maybe we can revisit that conversation then. But that's the only difference is because Alex Anthopoulos is like, see what just happened?
Alex Anthopoulos might be the greatest salesman of all time.
Or the greatest conspirator of all time. It's one or the other.
How do you want to go about it? And I think this is all crazy right now because of how new this is. Within the last 5 years is when this is being introduced. Guys getting large extensions before arbitration eligibility. Right? This is not a thing. This has never been a thing. We're always used to large contract extensions towards 27, 28, 29-year-olds, or guys hitting the market at 31, 32, and they're the peak free agent. Things have changed. Things are different. This is all new, and I think that's why. If this wouldn't be a conversation if we watched this more around the league. I think Anthopoulos is kind of setting the trend in doing things now. And in my mind, I think he's doing what the Blue Jays should have done last year. They have a core and now they're going to have the longer they wait, the higher that price tag is going to go. And then you have to start making selections because you can't have them all. Anthopoulos is saying, I want all these guys now and forever. And that's the sale. Hey, do you want to be a part of a core that's going to be together for a while? You guys are going to be brothers. You're going to be in the same clubhouse for a while. Do you want to avoid arbitration hearings? Do you want to, you know what I mean? Like that's the kind of stuff that they're sidestepping. And you can get some bread now. $750,000 is nice. Do you want 8 mil? 10 mil? Let's go for it now.
No, and I get that, but I think the thing that I'm having a hard time figuring out is you look at these guys that wait it out and say, "No, I'm gonna take this to free agency. I'm gonna get my check. I'm gonna get my bag."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Do those? I don't know. I'm genuinely curious. Do those guys just believe in themselves and in their talent more than these guys? And I'm not pointing fingers at Michael Harris. I'm just saying, as a whole, these guys that take these earlier contract offers for presumably far less than what they would get.
Yeah.
Do these guys over here, do they just believe in their talent and themselves more than these guys?
I think it is. I think it is the culture. You're saying, people don't buy in. I think it is a culture. There's a reason Tom Brady didn't make that much money in New England as a contract, as a guaranteed money thing. The Patriots said, we'll dangle these bonuses over you. So anytime you hit these tiers, these stats, you play this amount of games in each season, we'll bonus you out. And that doesn't count against our roster payroll. Brady's like, if that allows you guys to go get me the guys I need to win, fine.
That's my point.
That's what you're seeing on the Braves side.
You're
seeing all those guys saying, cool, if you want to fill out this lineup and we're going to be a problem, you're telling me, you're selling the fact that we are going to be a problem and we're going to be in deep playoff runs for the next 5-6 years. You're promising that. Then yes, I'll take that 8 or 10 mil right now. Even though if I wait 5 years, I could probably get 20 mil or 25 mil. Quick nickels versus slow dollars. That's what this is. It's a sales method. And Anthopoulos is crushing it.
No, he is. Look, this is no knock on Anthopoulos. If you can get away with this highway robbery, go for it. I'm all about it. But going back to your Tom Brady point, that is precisely my point that I initially brought up. That's one guy. You're going to tell me basically your entire starting 9 is buying in. You're telling me that the New England Patriots had 9 Tom Bradys? I don't buy it. I just don't buy it. I don't care how good of a salesman you are. You're
the
telling
Matt
me
Olson
that
thing, the Matt Olson thing, he's a homer. So I mean, he's at home. That one you can kind of check off the list, right? If you ask me who's buying in, I would say Austin Riley, Michael Harris are the 2 that bought in. If you're going to ask me the 2 guys that are probably going to look back at things and kind of scratch their heads, it would be Acuna and Albies. Those 2 guys down the road would be like, we're perennial all-stars, and we were on the scene before anybody else. Acuna's going to be like, this is my squad. Maybe I needed a little bit more.
Look, I'm not wishing any ill will in that clubhouse, but I would almost guarantee that maybe it's next year, maybe it's the year after that, maybe it's at the end of this contract, but there's going to be some rising tensions, whether it's from Albies or Acuna, based on the way that their contracts played out. Because you can still look at it now and go, it's fine. I'll worry about what I could have gotten later in my career. But the more time passes, the larger these contracts get.
Sure. I get it.
They're gonna look at this and go, I don't know. And there's gonna be some issues.
The only way that conversation is false. The only way that statement is false is if they win multiple rings during this window, within the next 6 or 7 years. If they win multiple rings, that won't matter. I don't think that narrative will really have a place to stand on. But with all those names, I think the guy that is got to be the most confused and probably a little pissed is Dansby Swanson. I mean, you've seen Michael Harris for about, 2 months? If that? Already getting that extension? Dansby's like, number 1 overall pick here. Having a career year. Where's my bag? So what this tells me is that that's a little bit of a slap in the face to Dansby, but it tells me that the Braves still have the roster payroll flexibility to go make a run at either Xander this offseason or Correa.
I mean, but if you're the Braves, is Dansby Swanson the shortstop that you want to hitch your wagon to?
I don't know. Every Braves fan seems to say yes.
No, every Braves fan seems to say yes after he's had a week or 2 of above average baseball. But when he's not,
I mean, he's having a solid year.
Shipped out.
He's having a good year. I think we can address that.
Having a very good year. He's hitting 292, 16 bombs, OPS 802, OPS plus a 120. Having a very good year. Obviously an all-star.
But look how old he is. You know? He's going to be 29 next year. So at that point, you're like, okay, who else is that age? And who's proved that they're capable of doing more? And again, we go back to Xander and Correa. Same range. Capable of a lot more, I think. A lot higher ceiling. Both have won. Could be a decent replacement. Otherwise, then this could be behind closed doors, but otherwise, I feel like Dansby would have bought in. I think he would have happily taken one of these types of deals. I think he's realistic in the fact that he needs to understand he's not a top 3 shortstop in baseball. He can do it for a couple of weeks, but he's not overall a top 3 shortstop in baseball. And I think Braves fans need to recognize that.
I'll fight anybody on that fact.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. But that's what tells me that there's been no offer to Dansby. Otherwise, he would have accepted one of these team-friendly deals. Say, yeah, I'll hitch my wagon to the rest of this incredible lineup, and I'll probably, ride some coattails at certain points to get some more rings. I think he would have accepted any one of those deals at any point. I don't think there's been any offers made to him, and that tells me that the Braves are still going to be buyers this offseason. And if they are, look out. You put Correa in that lineup or Xander in that lineup, look out.
We're not going to talk about that. Look, either there have been no offers made, or there have been, and Dansby's self-awareness is just at an all-time low.
Yeah.
Those are really the only two options. Because you're right.
Those are the only two options.
If there's even something remotely close to what these other guys are being offered,
yeah,
and snatching up easily,
yeah,
he's signing up for that. But again, that diff is self-awareness is where it should be.
Yeah, for sure.
Speaking of self-awareness, or I should say awareness surrounding another team, let's look at this Dennis Eckersley, Bryan Reynolds beef, shall we? Did we have Red Sox broadcaster and Pirates outfielder getting into it on our bingo card? I can't say we did.
I did not, but I'm ready. I'm ready for something.
So, look, putting my bias aside, everything that Dennis Eckersley said about the Pirates is 1,000% correct. And going back to this whole self-awareness thing, you look at Pirates fans on social media right now who are responding to this whole thing that happened just a couple days ago. They're going, look, don't really like the guy for what he said, but what he said was right.
Yeah.
And I have to applaud the Pirates fans that can at least tip their cap to the truth of what he said. He comes out, I want to say it was game 1. Yeah, it was the first game of the Red Sox Pirates series.
Okay.
2 nights ago. And he said, you talk about a no-name lineup. There's no team like this. Love to see some of the service time. You add it all up. It's not much. We just came from Kansas City. The Sox had just gotten done playing Kansas City. He said, we saw all those young kids. This is different, though. This is a hodgepodge of nothingness. It's ridiculous. It really is. It's pathetic. And then Bryan Reynolds comes out and says, I couldn't give less of a crap what that guy has to say. Doesn't change any of our lives. If he wants some airtime, he can say whatever he wants. First of all, Bryan Reynolds, Dennis Eckersley is a baseball legend, so it's not like he's looking for his 15 seconds of fame.
Yeah.
Second of all, what he said was absolutely right. Third of all, he wasn't talking about you as a player or anybody that you're on that field with in Pittsburgh. That was directed towards the front office and ownership. And if I'm Bryan Reynolds and I'm looking around trying to garner up a little bit of hope around the future of this team, if you have any plans of being there, which who knows where he's going to be, let Dennis Eckersley say what he's going to say and just let it fall on the ears of front ownership or on the front office and ownership. Because then that really puts him in the spotlight to where it's like the ownership's going, man, none of our guys out there on the front lines are really coming to our defense here, but he did, and now it's like, okay, we're in the clear. We got guys coming to back us up a little bit, even though we're the cheapest team in baseball.
Yeah.
If I'm Bryan Reynolds, I'm just letting that pass. I'm just letting that go and be like, you guys up in the luxury boxes, you guys deal with this. Because they're cheap, and it's pathetic. And like we talk about all the time, they have the makings for an incredible franchise. They've got the colors, they've got the marketing, they've got the history, they've got the backdrop, the stadium. Yeah. It's all there.
They got all that's an insane sports town. So
an insane sports town in loyal fan base. You may not see it in the stands on a nightly basis, but believe me, I've got family up there. Yeah, I know how they feel about the Pirates, and they love their Pirates. But here we are, just trying to defend a team that's not willing to do anything. I don't know.
I think it's there's two ways you can look at it. I think Bryan Reynolds probably is going like the us against the world type route with his comments, but Eckersley is not wrong. He's not wrong. And I like when former players, current players, people very involved with baseball come out and say the truth. They come out and say what everyone else is thinking. And that's what Eckersley did. Everyone's been talking about this. Every fan has this same conversation. When it comes to the Pirates, this is what we talk about. And Eckersley came out and said it. And I have to applaud him for that, because of the fact that every baseball player and every former guy and every broadcast guy, you feel like they have to be so politically correct. And they're not willing to call people out or organizations out or things like that. He was willing to do that. And if he gets, slap on the wrist by certain fans, or if he gets chastised by current players, whatever, it's the truth. But if you're Bryan Reynolds, I get it. I understand your clapback, because I don't know. I understand the mentality. We have to be, I have to think that I'm the best player on the field playing for the best team in baseball. That's how I have to think. And he's maybe one of those guys as a competitor. So I think his response makes sense, but Eckersley is not wrong at all. At all.
Will Crow came out and said, one of their relief pitchers came out and said, he's in the Hall of Fame. He's one of us. It's just surprising that a guy of his stature would come after us. I think it was kind of crappy in Bush League. Again, he's not coming after you, the player, you all, the team.
Right.
He's going after the front office.
Yeah.
And I just feel like you could really, if you believed in yourself and the guys in that clubhouse,
right,
despite what the standings show, you would just let that pass and let it be. You would basically just put it in the court of ownership and say, you deal with this. You respond to this if you want. If not, we'll know where your values lie. We'll know where your motivation and your respect for this team lies.
Sure.
But if they continue to, I would imagine that the situation's come to a close at this point. I don't think it's going to develop any further. But if for whatever reason this somehow turns into a thing, and you continue to come to the defense of the guy signing these measly checks, nothing's going to change.
Yeah.
Like you said, we rarely see people in positions like Eckersley come out and say what he said. So when it happens, let it happen.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, nothing's going to change. Fans tweeting about it on Twitter are not going to change the minds of these guys. But if you have people that are highly respected, highly regarded in this game coming out and saying these types of things,
they have credibility. Yeah.
They have credibility. That's the biggest thing. Then maybe, just maybe, they'll listen and start to go, you know what? Maybe we should do something before we lose this entire city.
Yeah. Well, and this is the tale of two franchises when we go back to, the Braves conversation, right? The Pirates could start going this route between Hayes and Cruz and Bryan Reynolds. What's that lefty bat that they have that's been swinging it well? They have guys that they could commit to for these long-term free, team-friendly deals. But this is a team that'll never show the fire to go trade for a big piece or sign a big free agent. You have to take care of the house first before you come and invite somebody in. So again, kind of like if we're going to compare them to the Braves, just because it's kind of it's polar opposites of the spectrum here. The Braves lock down their core and then they say, I'm going to go trade for Matt Olson. And then I'm going to say, hey, Matt Olson, see this young core that we're putting together for you? They're going to be here to support you for a while. You want to sign this long-term deal? Cool. Done. The Pirates can do that. O'Neal Cruz, it looks like the real deal. He's going to take some development for sure, some learning, some trial and error. Ke'Bryan Hayes looks good. Bryan Reynolds, we already know. All-star. Sign these guys. Extend them. Get them longer deals. You already got Hayes, which is cool. Keep going. And then you can go hit the free agent market and say, hey, we've got some young guys that'll give you some support. But they don't do that ever. They don't show the willingness to do that ever. And that is what the issue is. That's the problem. You can sign all the guys you want, but if you're not adding into that, it doesn't matter. Sell the team.
Sell the team, but if you're not going to do that, like you said, just sign some of these guys. And if you don't see an ounce more of success, just at least give these fans a jersey to buy out of the team store besides Roberto Clemente. Because other than that jersey, nobody's here long enough or good enough to warrant having their jersey up in the store.
Yeah.
Besides maybe one or two guys, and you're not signing those guys.
As frustrating as like the Rockies are, they're still doing a better job than the Pirates. You know, they're keeping guys around, and then you add in some older veteran guys. Jose Iglesias is having a good year playing short for them. You know, they've made those attempts. Ian Desmond was kind of a flop in Colorado, but they still make those attempts, and you have to applaud that. They're trying. They're failing a lot, but they're trying. The Pirates aren't even trying. That's why Eckersley's comments are spot on, because they're not putting any effort into this. And what's that viral video going around of that kid taking a picture next to the owner, and he opens up his shirt and it says, it wasn't our shirt, unfortunately, but it says sell the team. Why would players be irrelevant to that, or irrelevant? Why would players be ignorant to that? Why would they think that this is the right type of structure? You're exactly right. Bryan Reynolds just needs to be like, dude, I'm a ball player. That's not a question for me. That's the only answer you needed to give. This has nothing to do with me. I'm trying to be out here, win ball games, put my bat on some baseballs, and do my thing. That's what a solid answer would have been, and I bet fans would have been like, yeah, I'm with you. I like that. Let the front office deal with this stuff, because they are the ones that have to change.
I don't know. We need something to change in Pittsburgh, man. That's such a waste.
I want them to play good baseball. I want it.
Oh, man.
It would be good. It would be good for baseball. It's exciting.
It's just a waste of everything out there.
Yeah. You remember that Cueto scene in the playoffs a couple years ago? And he drops the ball on the mound? Like, that stuff's electric. It's so cool seeing fans rocking Steelers jerseys or Penguins jerseys in the crowd, because it's all the same colors. It's a baseball town. It's a sports town, I should say. And it very well could be a baseball town if they figured things out. Just get it going. You have a beautiful ballpark. You got all the makings, all the ingredients. Put it in the oven. Add some stuff to it. You're going to get something good out of it.
Joey Votto's out for the season, Nate.
Sad day.
First baseman will have season-ending surgery to fix a torn rotator cuff. It was announced earlier this week, and he will be having the surgery tomorrow. Say Thursday? Yeah, today's Thursday. He'll be having it Friday. Apparently, this is something that's been bothering him for a while. He said
not surprised.
He's been, for the most part, been able to play through it, but I think as we've seen this year, just historically bad numbers for Votto pretty much across the board. I was reading, he did say that he doesn't necessarily know if that had any impact, like the injury itself or the pain that he was working through had any impact on the numbers you were seeing.
Probably has to.
I feel like it's got to play into it a little bit, but I mean, props to him for not falling into the excuses game. He's
old school, man.
But
he's old school.
What do we think this means for the rest of Votto's career?
Oh, he's not done.
Because
based on his comments during the Field of Dreams game, I think he's still going. He wants to keep going.
Yeah, he almost said it with like a little like little gleam in his eye where he was like, I kind of want to stick around. What do you guys think? But I was listening today. Apparently, the recovery time would be close to 6 months. Mm-hmm. So, in order for him to be ready for next year, he'd have to get this thing going. It sounds like if they're doing it Friday, it sounds like they're getting this taken care of right away. I really wish Votto, even before this season, I really wish he would have went elsewhere.
I do too.
Another example of a guy just wasting away in a city that's not really doing much for him.
Yeah, I agree. I 100% agree. I don't know. I don't even care where. Just elsewhere. Just somewhere else. And I mean, going back to what he said at the Field of Dreams game, he just talked about, he was like, every retired guy I've talked to, every player that's gotten out of it just reminds me that, like, have fun. Have fun. Enjoy this. Enjoy the moments. He just hopped on social media. You know what I mean? Like, he's enjoying this. I think what's cool about him and what shows the type of competitor and old school style he is that if he's been dealing this, with this for a while, he was like, I know my team is better with me on the field, and we're going to do this for as long as we can. And I bet he waited until the Reds were pretty much out of the picture. I'm sure that's like I know they're not mathematically quite eliminated yet, but they're probably right on the brink. And that's probably that was his deadline, saying, you know what? Once we're no longer any shot at being in the postseason, I'll go get the surgery. That's a tough dude.
Yeah, he says, I've been able to play through it only in the past 3 or 4 months or so. It's been painful to the point, without getting into the specifics, difficult to lift. It hurts to sleep. If you've had any kind of injury or pain or chronic whatever that keeps you from being able to sleep, there's really not much you can do there. There's not much of a decision that has to be made. It's kind of made for you. That's just something you have to address, because if it's affecting your ability to sleep, that leaks into pretty much every facet of your life. Yeah. Like, if you're not getting good rest, if you're not recovering well, especially as a professional athlete, that's a tough spot to be in.
And half your games are in hotel beds. You know what I mean? Like, that's what half your season is about. And on plane seats, I think people forget that. And I think when you remove the financial benefits and the fact that they are playing a game, when it comes down to it, they're playing a game, right? Like, we can all agree that we are super competitive to our core, and we love baseball, and it's more than a game for us. But by definition, it is a game. I think people forget how hard it is on your body. Like, and I think people struggle to remember that these guys are at the field 6-7 hours before the game every day. And then you have travel days, and then you're not getting into your hotel bed until 4 a.m. Right? And then you're waking up around noon, and then you're going to the ballpark. It's a weird, strange schedule. It's difficult on your body. And I don't think people really truly appreciate that about athletes in general. And again, it's a testament to Joey Votto, and I think his mentality and his toughness, that, like, that guy's a winner. That's cool. That's cool to hear that, because we didn't hear about this injury at all for over the last 3 or 4 months. Did you? Maybe Reds fans that are close to the game.
He said this is something that's been bothering him since 2015.
That's just a winner, dude. That's just a winner. Like, I would take Joey Votto. I think any baseball fan on any respective team would say, I'll take Joey Votto. We got room for him. That's a good baseball dude. Sucks that he's dealing with it, and I hope he comes back. I really do. Hopefully, somewhere else, something happens there. Get me Votto in a different uniform. squeeze out a little bit more competitiveness out of them, and I bet you see just an uptick in production and fireworks.
Talk to me about Big League Chew.
BLC?
BLC. Our
The Chew.
presenting sponsor.
The Chew. Big League Chew. Founded by former left-handed pitcher Rob Nelson, Big League Chew started from humble beginnings in the Portland Mavericks bullpen in 1977. For more than how many years? 40.
900
Too
million.
slow. The iconic pouches packed with shredded, flavorful bubble gum has become the number one shredded gum of athletes everywhere. Big League Chew has sold more than 900 million pouches and is designated as the Hall of Fame bubble gum. Grab some gum and head to Big League Chew's social media channels. What on Twitter?
Best gum on the planet.
Now. At Big League Chew on Twitter.
At Big League
What
Chew
on Instagram?
gum.
Yes, on Insta.
Instagram.
Let's go.
Hey,
Show
they're
off your Big League bubbles.
They're also on TikTok. I feel like we need to add that to the...
We should add that.
Because now that I'm thinking about it, they sent us this read before they hopped on TikTok. Now they're on TikTok and
Let's get it in there.
just blowing it up.
Let's get it in there. You can also find a list of retailers or purchase any of their products directly from their website at bigleaguechew.com. Big League Chew.
I tell you, we grabbed lunch with my mom this weekend.
Yeah.
And as we were leaving, she's like, "Oh yeah, by the way, I got your bucket of seeds and a box of Big League Chew for you." So we just popped it
Just
in
every
the
time
car
you see her.
literally every time. I'm like, "Mom, I'm still working on the last bucket of seeds you gave me." It's like I'm not playing baseball anymore. It takes me a little longer to get through these seeds.
How weird is it that parents like flip a switch when you get older and they just become so giving in certain ways?
Well, I mean, they're always giving.
They're always giving, but
sacrificing.
like you remember as a kid, you're like, "Can I get another bag of Big League Chew?" And they'd be like, "No, you're fine. No, we're good. No, can we get McDonald's on the way home? No, we're
There's
good."
McDonald's at home.
Right? Yeah, you have food at home. You're fine. I went over to my dad's house the other day, and I don't even know how it happened. I'm like looking through their pantry because I'm kind of hungry, wanting a snack, and I saw like the Costco granola bars, where it's like the dark chocolate base and then like the nuts.
Yeah.
Amazing, so good. Next thing I knew, he's like filling up one of the storage Ziplocs with them and handing me like 20 of them, and I'm like, "What? No, I just wanted one. What are you doing?" And
Just
he's like,
gives
"No,
you
take
the
them.
box.
Take them. Like, no. I'm going to Costco later. Take them. You can have them." I'm like, "I have a Costco. No, it's cool. Just take it." Like, that's what parents do, man.
I love it.
It's so strange. When I drove up to Denver 2 years ago to visit my mom, it was weird, like little poppable chips. Shout out those poppable, like
You told me about those, yeah.
they're fire. So good. Anyway, I told her about them. And I'm like hanging out for a couple days. She comes back from the grocery store and she has 6 bags. She's like, "Just drive home with them. You can have them at home now." I'm like, "Ma, we got these at our grocery stores down there." She's like, "No, it's cool. It's fine." Parents are weird, man. When you start getting old enough, they're like, they miss giving you stuff, I think.
Yeah, it's a very real thing.
Strange. I'm here for it. I'm not complaining. I'll take
I'm
all
gonna
the
be-
granola bars and poppable chips you got.
I'm going to be 29 this October, and you can bet next April I'm going to be getting that Easter basket. I get an Easter basket every year, and I'm almost 30, and I'm here for it.
Oh, that's
I
good.
absolutely love it. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
They miss the giving. But all that to
Yeah.
say, I'm stocked up on Big League Chew again. So
I like it.
we're
I
in the
like
clear.
it. You were running low. You
I
were running on
was.
fumes.
In fact, I think I finished my last pouch the other day. There's a few shreds in there. I don't know why this is open. It's
Paige
ravaged
has
through it
been
like an animal.
Paige has been smacking away at the strawberry gum ever since that night I introduced it, by the way.
I need to go grab some blue raspberry. I need some of that in my life.
Yeah.
It's right down the street. It's
Yeah.
kind of the move.
Get it done.
Nate, closing the book. Brett Baty hit a home run in his first career at bat with the New York Mets. Very, very cool moment. A lot of hype surrounding the call-up, so much so that they had a watch party at his high school.
That's cool.
That was a cool clip. Kids are going nuts.
Yeah.
All about that.
Love that. Love that. I think that's cooler to me than like families and stuff like that. Like, the family's gonna be a part of the ride, but when you're inspiring kids like in your same high school program that are just a couple years behind you, that's cool.
I gotta say though, some of these call-ups from the past week or two have really put things into perspective. Like, you can't always guarantee that particular individual's family is going to be a part of the ride. And what makes it even more special is that you see these call-ups where they are able to call their mom or to call their dad. Like I saw, who was it with the Rockies? I'm blanking.
Oh,
on his name. You know exactly what I'm talking about. That was cool. Too. There was a guy, I want to say for the D-backs just the other day who did the same thing. And it's like, it's so cool to see. Like, you almost have this expectation that the family is going to be part of it, but when you sit back and think like, some of these guys maybe had different stories than ours, and you get to see these moments that they have, super cool. And then when they go out and do like what Brett Baty did, just makes it even better.
Yeah, and I do like when they start to like catch a stride and you know that they're going to stay up for a while. Like Luis Gonzalez with the Giants, he's down here from Tucson. And when they came back and played the D-backs a couple weeks ago, he bought like 50 tickets. So he had just everybody from Tucson coming up and sitting in it. Like, that's cool. Like I think that's like the next step. You see the debut, you see the first home run and first hit, and then you get like that. Okay, now I'm coming to my hometown and I'm here. Now I'm going to get everybody to come watch. That's cool.
Gotta love it. Bryce Harper is aiming to be back by the start of September, and
there we go.
I'm feeling things. I'm getting excited.
I am too.
For more reasons than one. He is the leading force on my fantasy team, so we need that back.
You
back
need that
in the lineup.
Yeah. Also committed
Big
to
time.
World Baseball Classic, right?
Yeah, which we need to circle back on that once the lineup gets finalized.
Man.
Ooh, it's looking good.
Yeah, dude.
Real good.
I think we're taking it. I honestly feel good. I don't even care about the other teams right now. I think we're taking it.
I mean, props to these guys that are signing up, putting their hands up, saying, you know what? Forget the risk of injury, forget the money, forget this or that, whatever it may be, whatever reason that guys in the past maybe declined. Good on these guys for showing out for the old red, white, and blue.
We need some arms, though. Definitely need some arms.
We do need some arms, or there will be no showing out for the red, white, and blue if we have nobody throwing.
Yeah.
Nobody throwing. Let's look at these weekend series previews that we got. I'm looking forward to this White Sox Guardians series. And look, I know we just got done writing off the White Sox, saying no sense in talking about the White Sox anymore. To me, this is like really, this is really it. Like,
he immediately talks about him the next episode.
No, like, look, this is the last
straw.
This is the last straw for the White Sox. Not from my perspective, just like as a team. Like, if you can't do anything in this series this weekend,
yeah,
we're already out. But if there's any hope left in that clubhouse,
yeah,
I'm sure it will change based on how this weekend series goes. Game 1, you got Lance Lynn going up against Tristan McKenzie. Lance Lynn is 3-5 with a 5.62 ERA. Opponents are hitting 266 off him. His last outing, he went 6 innings against the Tigers, gave up 2 runs on 5 hits, had 7 Ks and no walks. McKenzie, our guy, friend of the pod, having a pretty solid year.
I think he's having a good year. Yeah.
Pretty solid year. 8.9 and ERA of 3.14. Opponents are hitting 198 off him. His last outing went up against the Blue Jays, went 6 2/3, gave up 2 runs on 5 hits with 3 Ks and 2 walks. Game 2, you got Johnny Cueto going up against Shane Bieber. Cueto is 5-5 with a 2.78 ERA. Opponents are hitting 262 off him. His last outing, Last outing for Cueto, tip of the cap, 8 innings
Yeah.
deep against the Astros, gave up 1 run on 6 hits, had 3 Ks and a walk. Shane Bieber, who also having a good year, but maybe not the Shane Bieber that Guardians fans expect every year or would hope for every year.
Yeah.
He's 8-6, got an ERA of 3.18. Opponents are in 235. His last outing was 7 innings against the Blue Jays, 2 earned runs on 8 hits, 6 Ks, and no walks. Game 3, you got my Cy Young pick.
He's got to be Cy Young, right?
He's up there. He's definitely in the conversation. We'll see. Dylan Cease going up against Aaron Savali. Cease is 12-5 with a 2.09 ERA. Opponents are hitting 200 flat off of him. His last outing went 5 innings against the Astros, 3 earned runs on 6 hits, 4 Ks, and 3 walks. Savali is 2-5 with a 5.63 ERA. Opponents hitting 277 off him. His last outing against the Tigers was 6 innings, allowing just 1 earned run on 3 hits with 10 Ks and a walk. The offensive highlights for me, we got Jose Abreu, who's 15 for his last 37, his last 10 games. Although he is lacking in the pop category. He's got no home runs. He's only got 1 RBI, and he's got 10 Ks in that stretch. Jose Ramirez for the Guardians, 10 for his last 40. He's got 1 home run, 11 RBIs, and 7 Ks in that same stretch.
This is it.
This is it for the White Sox.
I agree.
This is
the last thing. And yeah, I think it's only a 3-game set too, so it's like you're not going to be able to walk away with a split and be happy about it. So, speaking of random updated news,
White
Andrews.
Sox. How about that?
All right, interesting.
Hey, we're not talking about the White
Anderson
Sox anymore, but here's a weekend series preview and a signing that they just had.
So TA going down makes the Elvis Andrus move. Makes sense. I get it. My series, not necessarily like a division battle, not something that's going to really overly affect the standings. It's just 2 powerhouse teams, I think. It's the Astros visiting Atlanta for the Braves. Game 1 for the Astros, it's going to be Lance Gray McCullers Jr. coming off his first start of the season. Against Oakland, he went 6 innings, no earned runs, 2 hits, 5 walks, 4 walks, 5 Ks. Sorry. And game 1, we don't know who's going for the Braves yet. That's still undecided. Game 2, Christian, no middle name Javier, is 7-8 this year, 2.96 ERA. Opponents are hitting 184 against him. Last time out against Oakland, he went 6 innings, no earned runs, 1 hit, 6 Ks, 3 walks. Going for the Braves is Spencer Robert Strider, 7-4 this year, 3.04 ERA. Opponents are hitting 184 against him. Against the Mets last time out, I think he backed up his talk a little bit. 5 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts. And game 3 is Jose Luis Hernandez Urquidy going for the Astros. 11-4 this year, 3.68 ERA. Opponents are hitting 244 against him. Last time out against the White Sox, he went in 7 2/3, only allowed 1 earned run off of 6 hits, 4 Ks, no walks. And he's going up against Charles Alfred Morton IV. 6-5 this year, 4.04 ERA. Opponents are hitting 225 against him. Last time out against the Mets, also shoved 6 2/3, no earned runs, 1 walk, 12 strikeouts against those Mets. Uncle Chuck. I like that. And my offensive stars for the Braves, I'm going with Matthew Kent Olson over the last 10 games. He's 10 for 42, 4 jacks, 9 ribs, 11 strikeouts. And honestly, the Astros offense is kind of meh all year. Jordan is not normal Jordan right now. He's okay. 6 for 36 in his last 10 games, 1 home run, 3 RBIs, 4 Ks. Overall, I mean, look, say what you will about the Astros offense, but with the addition of Lance McCullers, this rotation is stupid. Because I just read off 3 names that are very legitimately going to be solid starters for them. And I didn't even mention Verlander. I didn't even mention Framber Valdez. That might be the best starting rotation in baseball. If the offense can produce at all, the Astros are going to be just fine this postseason.
That's about it.
That's about it.
I won't run through the whole SeatGeek ad read, but I'm in the works. I'm in the process of getting the promo code updated. But in the meantime, if you're looking to get tickets for literally anything, and it's on SeatGeek,
it's the stretch point of the episode.
Use promo code the number 3, the number 0, take pod. That's actually our old handle. It's not our handle.
Yeah, we're gonna get rid of that. We'll fix it.
But if you need, like, if you're in a bind, you're like, I need to get tickets. I need a promo code. I need to save $20 instantly off my first purchase as a first time user.
Perfect.
Go ahead and use that. But I'll let you guys know when we get the new code updated. In the meantime, that's all I got.
Well, watch the games we just told you to watch. If you aren't doing that, you better have a legitimate excuse. And this is officially your last warning to get back to work. Don't go chasing curveballs.
We love you all, and as always, looking forward to talking more baseball with you guys soon. Until next time, stay filthy.